Good morning, beautiful souls. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am running a little behind here. It's been an interesting morning. Oh my goodness. Anyways, scarfing down some yogurt. Got my coffee. Good morning, Jen. You got your coffee? Are you a coffee drinker or a tea drinker? And then I also trying out this new tea. It's called Teonic. I don't know. I love my gut. It's a digestion tea. Trust your gut herbal tea tonic. Spiced chai. What pulled me to it was the spiced chai part and gut. My gut health is super important to me. All right, so I was running a little behind this morning. However, it was perfect because it's fresh in my mind about expectations. So for those of you who don't know me very well yet, my husband is a Boilermaker, and so he travels, he gets called out on jobs, and he could be anywhere in the world. However, he's in our home state right now in Montana, and because he's not so far, he can actually come home on the weekends. And so he gets an extended weekend because it's Memorial Day on Monday. Yay! So, which has me wanting to ask you, what are your plans for this memorial? We have not made plans yet. We kind of go with the flow, we just go with the flow. So we might have a random thought about, let's go for a ride, or let's go do this, or let's go do that. I know I am going to my friend's wedding tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. And might take our daughter to the carousel. We do love taking her to that, and it's been closed down for a few months, since December, I want to say. Excuse me, geez. Anyways, so that's something that we do enjoy doing. We like to go feed the ducks. We like to be in nature. I mean, spending time with our family, having barbecues, things like that. And we're preparing to do fishing. We love to fish and camp, and I'm excited because my favorite thing to do is river rafting. And I want to learn how to paddleboard this summer. So I'm excited about that. Kayaking. I mean, I have a huge variety of things that we enjoy doing. And I've had to learn over time how to do it without my husband being around, because, oh my gosh, it was like driving me freaking nutty trying to plan anything around his job, because it's kind of like you just never know when he's going to get called out, or how long he's going to be gone, how long he'll be home. I mean, it's just like up and down, up and down. And so I finally was just like, you know what? I don't care. You're going to be gone or you're not gone. And I need to just live my life. We've been together 23 years this May, actually. And this job that he's been with for like 6 years. It's been quite a transition, ups and downs, challenges, just because, well, I mean, we have our sons and they're adults, and we're like, all right, so the boys they're moving out and they're going into their own directions, and now what? Now we get to like have our time to ourselves, and bam, comes along our daughter Bella. So she'll be 5 this June. And so it's been quite an adjustment, and working with that. And I'm 45, so I feel like I have been raising kids pretty much almost all my life, because I had my first son when I had just turned 16, so I was pregnant during part of my 15, during my age of 15. Anyway, so I've been raising kids since then. Anyway, so Today's soul journal prompt is: what expectations do you have with your significant other, your children, your work, your business, co-workers? I don't care, anybody. The one expectation that I absolutely love is I expect money to flow my way. I expect it, I expect it, I expect it. So that's a really good expectation. So I think we, obviously have some good expectations, but then we also have the not so good expectations. And so I posted that one, or that is the soul journal prompt for today, because I had a fresh expectation with my husband. So it's all, it was always a challenge, like I was saying earlier, and a challenge for when he comes home and when he leaves, because we never know how long he's going to be gone. The longest he was gone was, oh my gosh, I want to say 6 or 7 months. The good thing was he wasn't far, so we could visit each other back and forth, but he was working 7/10s or 7/12s or something like that. So it was up to me to go to him sometimes. And then when he'd have his fatigue day, he would come home. And that man, I don't know where he gets his energy. He is 11 years older than me. Anyways, so, and he would work a 12-hour shift and just come straight home, which is a 3 to 4 hour drive. He always made it in 3.5. And then spend the night, spend the day with us, and then head back to work. And that's what he does. That's what he does. And he used to see it as a sacrifice. And as obviously I'm the one who's always spiritually, mentally growing and learning. And so we had a conversation once about sacrifice, and we aren't sacrificing our life. That's survival, that's victim, that's, we're not sacrificing. The reason why you do this job and you travel back and forth, I mean, who does that? A lot of people probably do. However, Boilermakers do not get to spend a lot of time at home. And so it probably feels like this big sacrifice for the kind of money that they make. However, he didn't go into it just for the money. He went into it with a dream. And his dream is for us to own a ranch with horses. And he wants it to be a dude ranch. And so that is like his clear why. And he's what he values is family, having money. He values money. He values leadership and growth. So that is his drive. That's what has him travel that many hours over the weekends to come see us. And then when he's not in town, when he's out of state, we just talk every single night. And we like to play a little, to keep it juicy. So I think that, yes, I do miss him at times, but I needed to let go of missing, and just remind myself of why I support him and what he does, because obviously it is for the bigger vision. So I don't see it as a sacrifice. I see it as him living out what his passion and what his purpose is, what his main goal in life is. So who wouldn't want to retire with a ranch, right? The ultimate goal is to retire him or semi-retire him with my business. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Anyways, so let's get back to expectations here. So so he comes home, right? And when he's gone, I start getting back on a routine of things. I have a structure for things. I have my non-negotiables in my business. And I think he forgets that. I don't know. So when he comes home, I have an expectation that he'll just jump right in and do exactly what he knows he needs to do. Well, not even need, but what he wants to do. He does what he wants, right? Like he just does what he wants. However, to support me while he's home, I had lots of expectations, but I would never express them to him. Um, I didn't. And so what would happen was I would like be irritable towards him. I couldn't wait till he'd leave. Um, I mean, I was like in my head, ton in my head about like, oh my gosh, this isn't working. And, I was having thoughts that he's an asshole. He doesn't get it, and so I was just being a jerk about him. Good morning, Rose. And so there was a couple of things. One, I wasn't communicating effectively, like what I expected of him when he come home, or what does he expect of me when he comes home. And so we've sat down and hashed it out. But before I had a conversation with him, I really needed to get clear on some things, and because I really wanted to be clear on like what do I want from him when he is home. And so when he comes home last night, I went immediately into this space of like, I don't know, I think kind of like withdrawn, like and you'd think I'd be excited. And I was, in my heart, I'm like excited to see him always. But that's what I'm talking about when I talk about we have the thoughts first and then the feelings next. So I'm always observing my thinking, and I'm always observing how I feel, because if I'm not paying attention to my thinking, the feelings are always a trigger. So anyway, so he's home, and I'm happy he's home, but then there's this part of me that's like I'm not his mom. I'm not here to take care of him. I'm not here to clean up after him. I'm not, like, I gave all that stuff up. I gave up and let go of the conditioning that we as women must take care of our man. I do things for him out of love, but I used to see it as this was my job as a woman, as a wife, as the one that gets to stay home, and devaluing who I am as a woman. And so that took some time to work through that, a lot of inner work. And so to be on the same page, I will talk to him now about, and sometimes I do it in a jerky way. I'll just say jerky. I'm not clear, like how I'm being clear with you right now and what I want to say. Because it just, first off, let me just point this out. First off, when we're in a space or the mindset of having expectations and we don't think that other person is meeting up to those expectations and we're in our heads about it, then typically what we would do, everybody does this, is snap. We're snappy, we're jerky, we're not being clear on what we want, we're blaming, we're shaming, you should have this or you could have that. I mean, just all the nasty, crappy shit, right? And I know, because I've experienced that throughout my life. And in my marriage, it is what matters most to me is that I find ways for us to always be growing in our relationship and keeping the excitement around. Well, you can't have excitement if you're walking around being an asshole towards your spouse because they didn't meet an expectation that you, and people just don't know that they have expectations sometimes. So, but I do. I'm always aware. So last night, he gets home, and I continued after we visited for a bit. I came back because I'm working on my new program. Good morning, Jennifer. Hey, ladies, I'd love to know where you're chiming in from, by the way. Jen, Rose, Jennifer, where are you guys located? It's always fun knowing who I'm chatting with around the world. I've met some amazing, yummy women, goddesses, divas around the world. So anyways, so I was, got back to finishing up what I was working on before he showed up. And then I just stopped everything so that I could be with him. And then I took a few minutes just to finish up what I want. It's my goal to, because I used to be where I would start something and never finish. That was due to fear. And so it was a form of procrastination for me. It always had to be right. It always had to be perfect. Just like doing live streams. I refused to do live streams because, I didn't have my makeup on and so I thought, well, I'm just going to play with it and, show up in, after taking a shower with my towel on my head and just really start getting comfortable with it and overcoming what I was making it mean about myself, and what people were thinking about, their thoughts about me. And it's just about giving it up, and doing the inner work that needs to be done. So anyways, I keep getting off subject. So my husband, last night was fine. No, we did not have sex. He was too tired. Wouldn't you be after working a 10-hour shift and then driving 3.5 hours? So, but that will happen, I promise. Gotta have some juiciness, right? And some romance. So anyways, however, this morning, and I did let him know up front last night that, like, you get to take Bella to school in the morning and you get to go pick her up so that I can finish revamping. Well, I'm not revamping, it's like remodeling your business. However, I'm remodeling a program, my one-on-one coaching program. And it's almost done, you guys. I'm so super excited about this. You guys are going to love this, I'm telling you. It's just dead on. We're like major hardcore detox healing and a complete immersion into soul work, into limiting beliefs, what your mindset is, how you perform in your business, your relationships, your health, whatever area it is that's important to you. Like, we are going to literally just dive and immerse ourselves into that. Anyway, so I'm excited. And as soon as the links, it's almost complete, but keep your eyes open. The links will be coming soon. And you're going to want to check it out. So I'm excited about this. Like, I'm really excited. and so, like, I don't know if you guys have like non-negotiables in your business. I had learned this from a mentor of mine. I absolutely adore her. I have 2 mentors. I always like have 1 or 2, sometimes 3. Like right now I have a parenting coach who's divine. If you have children, you can find her in the group. Her name's Karen Rice. She's out of this world with parent coaching. Been doing it for 40 plus years. So I highly recommend her. I've had some amazing results with my relationship with my daughter, who's going to be 5, by the way. I know I already said that. Anyways, where was I? Oh, mentors. Okay, so I had this mentor who, I don't think it's necessarily boundaries. It's just, these are my non-negotiables. This is not what I'm willing to not do, because I want to lay in bed at night thinking about, well, this is what I do, by the way. Before I go to sleep, I think about what was the best part of my day. And I think, and you pick one thing, you guys, just try this. It's really cool. When you're laying there, you just get relaxed, calm, as if you're getting ready to go to sleep. And then you just think through your day. What was the best part about my day today? I ask my daughter, I ask my kids when I see them, what was the best part of your day? I ask my husband will do it sometimes with me. And we just lay there and think about what was the best part of our day. And what's cool about that is you actually like have to think through, because you can only say it one. And sometimes it's hard because you're like, oh, and I did this though. I did this and I got it done. And it's so awesome to acknowledge your work. It's so juicy and yummy to acknowledge, like, oh my gosh, I accomplished way more than I thought I did, you know. So, and then you just pick one and you say it out loud. Or if you know, if you don't want to do that and wake anybody up or whatever, keep it to yourself. But anyways, it's a really great exercise that I learned. Anyway, so the non-negotiable is something that has taken me practice once I decided on what my non-negotiables were, which is like my writing and journaling. My number one, like I've discovered that I love to write. I used to have a story about that too, but that'll be another video. But I absolutely love writing, and I was doing more writing than I was coming on live streaming, and I thought, no, I need to, you know, balance that out and start live streaming more often. So anyway, so writing and journaling. Journaling, I've done journaling for a few years now. However, the first 3 years of journaling was me bitching and complaining in my journal about my life and how much of it wasn't working or what was working, and until I got this mentor coach who her main tool is journaling, and it's absolutely amazing how she does it. Just in the year that I've learned this tool through her, and her guide given me guidance with it, like I've manifested more quickly than I normally would, than what I normally did before I started learning this new process. So journaling has become like one of my major tools with my clients, with myself. I do it every single day. I have tons. I even created my own journal. It's almost finished. Anyways, so I have my non-negotiables. And when he got home last night, I was just like, okay, so you're gonna take Bella to school in the morning and pick her up. And I'm excited about that because normally it's me, and that means that's an extra 2 hours in my day, right? That's an extra 2 hours for me to, you know, give my undivided attention to what it is that I'm up to in my business. However, it didn't work out that way this morning. Good morning, Miss Helen. How's it going, girl? So this morning, he, you know, because he works an early shift as well, so he was up like at 5:30. I was up at 5. You know, and there's a little lovey-dovey, and I'm already in the zone, right? Like when I am working, like I'm so passionate about what I do and love what I do that I get zoned in, and I have this thing about tuning everything out. Like, don't mess with me when I'm zoned, right? Like it's kind of like one of those kids that sit there and play video games, and you're trying to talk to your kid about this or that, and they're not hearing a dang thing you're saying because it's going through one ear, not the other. Or maybe you have that experience with your parents, or your experience with your spouse, whatever. But so here he is, he comes in and he's trying to be lovey-dovey, and I'm like, and so it began. So he's just loving on me, right? Like he's missed me. And so I'm just like, I do that and I roll my eyes. Anyways, so moving on. So he goes off, he gets his coffee, and he only drinks coffee, you guys, when he's at home with me. He does not drink it while he's on the road. Isn't that sweet? So he goes back and he's, doing his thing or whatever. And I'm like just working, and he comes in here, and it's, I don't know, because my goal is to try to be on here and do a live stream first thing in the morning, like around 7, right? And I'm like, well, he's home, so I can push it a little bit. That's where my indicator should have been. That thought right there. Like, no, that's not gonna work. I did, however, go ask him, so like, when are you gonna take your bath? Because I need to take a shower, and I want to do all this before 7. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like telling him what's gonna happen. I'm like, okay, so you're just gonna, when are you gonna take your bath? Because I need to take a shower, and I want it to happen before 7, right? And so I'm waiting, and I ask him again, when are you gonna go take your bath? And he's like, why do you need to take a bath, or why do you need to take a shower? I'm like, because I want to. I mean, really? Why does anybody take a freaking shower? To clean themselves, right? So, so, so he finally goes and takes his shower, and then I finally get to go in there. Well, he gets done like a few minutes right before 7. And then when he's done, a few minutes later, he's asking me, so when do you wake up Bella? And I said, about between 7 and 7:30. Okay. And then he leaves. And so I'm writing, I'm typing away, doing my thing, trying to get this email out. And he comes back in, and he's like, and I look down at the clock when he came back in, and it's 7:06. So I know in my mind, okay, I wanted to get my shower done before, but it didn't happen because I got caught up in sending my email out. I wanted to get that done. That's one of my non-negotiables, is writing. And so, so he comes back in, it's 7:06. I glance down at the clock before he even says anything to me. And I say, I know I said 7 is usually about the time that I wake her up. I go, and he goes, well, I wanted to know, like, is there like a specific way that you wake her up? Because I can never get her awake when I try. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, are you freaking kidding me? You need me to tell you how to wake up our daughter. Just go freaking wake her up, however you want to wake her up. So I was a jerk. So like, I have an immediate expectation that he knows what he needs to be doing when he's here, right? And I'm here more than he is. So I kind of I was a little snappy about it. And I was like, I go, oh my gosh, I'll just finish this email, and then I'll go wake her up and get her up. I go, really? You just go wake her up however you want to wake her up. So he's like, well, I just wanted to know, like, if you had, like, because you got a routine. And me, I'm being like a total jerk about it. Like, well, create your own freaking routine. That's where my mind was, right? However, I had this expectation. I acknowledged it, as soon as I realized, that I have this expectation that he just should know what the hell to do when he comes home. Make it up yourself. I don't know. Like, I have to make it up every single day. Make up your own parenting. That's where I was, right? Anyways, so I look at the clock. I finish up my email. I'm like sighing as I'm walking to the bedroom past him to go wake her up, and I get her going and stuff. And good morning, Christine. Hey girl, how's it going? So anyways, I get her wake. He comes in there and helps me wake her up. But we want to make it really special for her, which way, so she just wakes up feeling good about life. That's just the way it's always been. And he's asking me if I have a specific way of doing it. Anyway, but laying there with her, it allowed me to calm my mind and get out of that workspace. And that's when I just kind of was listening to what was going on in my head, and it was the bitching about him not meeting my expectations of what to do with our daughter. So, so anyways, that's how expectations can be just a pain in the booty. So here's the next step for me. This is what I do. Anytime I acknowledge that I've been a jerk or have expectations like that, and I know that I've had way worse expectations. The first thing is just being an observer of your thoughts, and first I've acknowledged the thought that there's nothing wrong. Like I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not wrong. He's not wrong. And just like let all that go and just let it fade away, right? And acknowledge being a jerk. And it doesn't have to be some long drawn out thing. So he, we talked a little bit afterwards, and he's off taking her to school, and here I am doing my live stream. However, because I'm committed to us having a juicy, loving, deeply connected relationship, a deeply connected marriage, and having integrity and the things that I value most in what I want in a marriage, the one thing that I don't want is to be a bitch, right? Because wouldn't that cause some unworkability? Because if you really think about it, I know I did. He was being so generous. And ready to contribute to me, and I squashed that stuff right then and there out of reaction. And so that's what I wanted to share, but I really wanted to fill you in on the world of it, right? Because we all do this. We are just in constant reaction mode, and expectations can get really ugly if they build and build and build. Until you observe them, acknowledge them, don't make yourself wrong for it, and then the next step is to acknowledge it with the significant other. I was being a jerk, I'm sorry, I know you were just trying to help and I reacted like an asshole. Bam, it's over with, now move on. But what happens is a lot of people, and we used to be like this, a lot of people though stay in that constant reaction, nagging and griping and moaning about what he or she's not doing right for me, or how they should be or shouldn't be, or what they could have done or could do. We do it with everybody, or with money, with business, with our friendships, our relationships. And just step back and ask, when you're in that space where you're in the thinking, the itty bitty crappy committee, that little voice is chattering on, interrupt it. And one way to interrupt it is yawning, stretching, taking your mind. One way is stopping, taking a big deep breath, calm your mind, and then ask yourself, do I have some sort of expectation happening here? And then what am I committed to in my relationship with my husband or my wife? What am I committed to with my relationship with my child? What am I committed to with having more money? Because it's not about the money, it's about the people that you're serving. And if you have expectations about, well, he should pay me, or she should pay me, or they owe me, or I should set the price at this because, it's, and it's usually low prices people set. I know I used to set really low prices, and that was because I didn't value myself. So you have you get to say how your day's going to go. And I get to say, create how my day's going to go. And I don't want it to go crappy. I don't like that feeling. I don't know about you, but I know I don't like feeling that way. So, getting back to what it is that you're committed to. It's more than just saying I'm committed to my marriage. Well, what is it in your marriage that you're committed to? What are you saying that you're committed to? I have mine embedded in a frame that says I'm committed to integrity. I'm committed to honesty. I'm committed to juiciness and fun and adventure. I'm committed to our communication being open. And that's what I'm committed to. I'm not committed to him. I'm committed to our relationship working. So, and you just use that in anything. What am I committed to here? When you find yourself frustrated, angry, disappointed, or defensiveness is a really big one. That one, you just pay attention, observe your feelings, your thoughts about what people are saying to you, because you get triggered by things that they're saying. And that's an actual moment to step back and say, whoa, that was interesting. So you get to choose and create how your relationships are going. Come on, we have a high divorce rate in this world, or in the US at least. And the last time I heard the numbers, it was high, and that was a few years ago. So I can't imagine. I haven't looked lately, but if you know the answer to that, I would love to know. Just shove it in the comments right there. Anyways, the divorce rate is pretty high. Relationships are only lasting 5 to 7 years on average. That was the last time I looked. So if it's changed, please correct me. Because maybe it's less, or I would really hope to think that, or I would like to think that, not hope, I'd like to think that these numbers have changed over time and shifted into better numbers. However, I don't focus on that stuff. I focus on myself. Yes, I'm selfish. I used to believe that I was selfish in a bad way, because people have made it bad for so many years. Society has conditioned me to think that you're being selfish because I want to take care of myself and my emotional and physical and spiritual needs. And so I didn't do any of that stuff because I thought it was being too selfish. And I'll tell you what, I'm so glad and excited that I've discovered that I have needs, and that I don't have to follow what the social conditioning says I have to do, as long as I tell them I'm not following that rule. I want to keep my integrity intact. I'm not going to go out and break the law or anything, right? Anyways, so I could go on about this stuff all day long. I think I say that every single day. Maybe I should just come on here a little more often. What do you think about that? Would you like to see me come on here a little more often? If so, put it in the comments. I would love to get your feedback. Is there anything I would love to hear from you? Like, is there specific things that you would like to hear more about? I do have some polls that it's in the announcement tab. I posted some polls there to try to get a sense of what it is that people are, interested in learning more of. I want to add, expectations that are negative only bring you, in the world of the law of attraction, only bring you more of that. I promise you. Let me just show you this. So let's say that I didn't know anything about this kind of work. Or even if I was just starting out learning about this stuff. People get discouraged. I know I used to, before I knew this stuff, that this stuff doesn't work. But it really does. This is the law. This is a universal law. And And so the law of attraction will always bring you exactly what you're putting out, what you're thinking about, what you're speaking about, how you're feeling. Your feeling just juices that shit right up. So if you're feeling, you know, if you have an expectation that's negative, like and you're being a jerk, then you just get more of that back. And I know this is a fact, because I would be so consumed in my thinking about all the things that were wrong in my relationship with Buck, that I just got more and more of that. And I didn't have room to see, even if I said, well, I love him though, that's not love. When I think it's kind of interesting when I hear people talk about abuse in a relationship. You know what? To me, other than physical abuse, okay, let me make sure I'm clear on this. I do not condone physical and domestic violence. I do not condone that. And if you're in that, please leave. Find the courage and be brave and get the hell out, girl or guy, because it's happening to guys. It's just not as socially accepted yet. But people need to be responsible for their parts in those relationships, because here's the thing. I know all about codependency. I know all about being a victim in a relationship, and both partners are making each other wrong. He has his thoughts, but I can't be worried. It's really none of my business what he's thinking about. My business is taking care of me and being responsible for my part in the marriage. Now, obviously, if it's something that's, a lot, something big, then yeah, we've got some work to do here, buddy. Let's do this. There is that. But what I'm saying is, love, when you bring love and joy and happiness and juiciness to that relationship, then that's what you'll get back. If you're in a relationship that you do not see that as being possible, but if you keep focusing on what you don't want in the relationship, then that's what you're going to keep getting back. More of that. So focus on what you do want in a relationship. If you want to complain about everything that's not right about the relationship, why don't you shift it a little bit and start complaining about what is good about it? I promise you, if you start looking for the little things to be grateful for and appreciate in the significant other, as small as it may be, and you just start focusing in on that, I promise you, you will shift the relationship. And it's nothing to do with them. It's all about the way you view and the filters that you're seeing this person through. And so focus on some of the good things about that person. I mean, if you can sit around complaining and gossiping about how terrible your relationship is and all the things that they're wrong for, then you can find something to complain that was good about them. Even if you're not in a relationship and you just got out of one or something that is, I see all the time. And I used to do it. I mean, it's been 23 years ago, but I don't forget, because, it's in the unconscious mind, all that stuff. But I remember bad mouthing and bashing my exes and blah, blah, blah. And I was like the biggest victim of all. And I wanted everybody's sympathy, But the lesson that I gained from that was I was only attracting more of those kinds of relationships in my life. And so, I think we go through those things so that we can learn about what it is that we don't want more of. So, but why go through all that when I can just give you some tip right here? Focus on what you want. What do you want in a relationship? What do you really, 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 really want? I focus on that in my marriage. What do I want in my relationship? And here's the thing, if he's not there before I used to be freaked out about doing this work because I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to leave me. What if I'm so successful, he'll leave me? Well, I realized, and even with a conversation with him about this, first off, that was me being a victim. It was the codependency stuff. And when he said to me, well, look, if we're going to be here right by your side no matter what. And if it ever comes down to like you've grown too much and it's just not working, then it's just not working. Now, I could have like shifted that and made it mean a bunch of shit. Like, oh my gosh, see, there you go. He doesn't love me. I mean, that was my mindset. Believe me, it was horrible. But I heard it differently because I was in a place of like, I love you, and I am afraid of growing because of this. I have heard that you let people go or people will fade away if they're not in alignment with you and your growth. So I just decided, okay, well, if that's the case, then that's the case. I'm not attached to any outcomes. Yeah, and I just keep focusing on all the good things about him. And I'm telling you, I'm so blessed. Like I love my husband. I deeply love him. And it's a mutual thing, you know. So he's not up here completely with me, but that's not my problem, right? It's not my business, but I do know that he's working. Like, so if you are in a relationship where you're growing and you're way up here and they're down here, the least path of resistance is eventually something will come up and like the universe will conspire to separate you, whether you want it to or not. So, anyways, I am going to say, have a blessed day. And I put a link in the post here for you. It says, P.S. If you'd like me to reach out to you personally, post an emoji in the comments below and I will private message you. Woohoo! I can't wait to connect with you, and I really can't. I will private message you if you'd like for me to reach out. So, all right, ladies and gents, have a blessed day. Namaste.